Alam nyo ba itong SMDC? Ang gandang gawin na puhunan. Kung gusto nyong mag-invest sa mga kondo nila, maganda yung mga locations, talagang prime, mala resort yung mga amenities. Well-managed yung cleanliness, saka pwede mo pang maparent yung kondo na mabibili mo. Hindi mahal yung bayad sa pag-reserve, pati yung monthly mong down. Talagang abot kaya nating mga tiga-ibang bansa. So guys, kung gusto nyong magkaroon ng sarili nyong kondo, pamumuhunan ninyo, titirahan o gagawing bakasyonan, may eksklusibong discount kami ng SMDC dito sa Over a Glass or Two. Mag-email lang kayo sa amin sa oagot.us@gmail.com. Pwede ka din magbenta nito para sa ekstrang pera mo. So email lang kayo sa oagot.us@gmail.com. Get your mind and body rejuvenated with Monarch Montage, Skin Science and Medical Aesthetics. Secure the glow you always wanted. Achieve the body of your dreams. Monarch Montage upholds its high standards in beauty. Beauty is the harmony of science and art. Beauty is balance and civic. Complexions are meant to be immaculate, and beauty is beyond time. Imagine the possibilities. In the Philippines, contact Dr. Homer Mendoza. In New York City, contact Dr. Alicia Almendrao. Learn more at monarch-montage.com. Monarch Montage, the beauty and health continue. Coming to you from New York City, bringing the video podcast for global Filipinos around the world. Watch and listen as we speak and get to know different celebrities, icons, influencers, and inspiring people. Join Jesse Dang and Jay Cass as they talk about anything and everything while bridging the gap between Filipinos of different generations and genres of choice. This is Over a Glass or Two.
Bulaga! Here we are again!
Hello! Ito na naman po kami! Good evening po sa inyong lahat. Anong araw na ba ngayon?
It's
Thursday.
Thursday,
yes! Good evening po sa inyong lahat. It's Thursday night here in the US, especially in New York and New Jersey. It's 9:36 p.m. na po. So, good evening po sa aming dearest USA. At sa Pilipinas naman po, it's 9:30 a.m. naman. Kaya aga-aga ng Friday morning. So, kumusta po kayong lahat sa aming mahal na Pilipinas? And Jaykas, ikaw naman, go!
Yes! Dito po sa state, isa pang masayang Happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone!
Happy St. Patrick's Day!
And
yes.
Here from Brooklyn naman po, good morning po sa lahat mga Filipinos and non-Filipinos in different time zones, in different continents, in different dimensions, in different galaxies, in this whole wide universe!
Verse! My God, happy St. Patrick's Day. Kanina, no? Actually, we just got home like what? 2 hours ago?
There was really a parade even when it was
in the
wet
city,
and wild in the city.
Manhattan.
But we were really inside the whole afternoon in a studio.
Yes, with
Kasi,
Drew Barrymore.
Yes, we were part of the audience for the Drew Barrymore talk show.
Oh my God, I know. Jaykas actually just dragged me and direct na, tara, sabi ko, sige na nga. I'll take like 4 hours off from work. So, we had fun. Thank you so much, Jaykas, for
Favorite
inviting.
natin siya. And,
Oo nga,
oh my
we love
God,
Drew Barrymore.
she's beautiful, but she is so more prettier in person. That small face, yes. And the same
ganda, no?
quirky and funny attitude. You know, when she wasn't getting her lines earlier and she was just laughing, you know what she did, right? She just laid in the carpet with her face
And just
down on
lying
the
down,
dirt.
and
It was
then
a
just
dirty
like-
carpet. She didn't care. And we were like, oh my God.
Wala siyang pakialam.
She's crazy.
Grabe. And syempre, Jacobs, we're so excited because our guest for tonight is, my God, a Hollywood actor. Oh my God. Tapos ang ganda. Parang kasing ganda niya si Drew Barrymore.
Ang dami niyang show.
Oh my God.
Pasikat na siya.
Sobra. We're so proud. And thank you so much, JR, for saying yes. Oh my God. I cannot believe it. It's really an honor, to have you on our show. And guys, please tune in because you will get to know more better about this. Uprising star talaga. Magiging number 1 to. Baka magulat na lang tayo. Kasama nila sila J-Lo. Kasama na nila to yung mga big stars in Hollywood, di ba? One of these is magugulat na lang tayo. My God. Oh my God. So anyways, i-introduce ko na ang ating special guest. But before ko i-introduce ang ating special guest, syempre kailangan muna naming i-shout out ang OFW number 49 OFW party list. Ayan. So guys, syempre sa susunod na election, which is May 9 na po, wag nating kalimutang suportahan ang tumutulong sa ating mga bagong bayani at kanilang mga pamilya. Ang number 49 OFW party list po. Kahit saan mang panig ng mundo, kung Pinoy ka, OFW ka, isa lang po tayong lahat. Marami pong natutulungan ang OFW party list. Not just actually, pag nanalo sila, hindi lang po yun. They've been helping for so many years. Kaya please po, sa susunod na halalan, supportahan po natin. Again, lagay niyo po sa inyong balota, number 49, One World OFW party list. Ayan. Oo. One Filipino worldwide. Ayan. So anyways, bago ko introduce ang ating special guest, we would like to say hi sa mga unang-unang nag-comment. Ate Pilar Mateo. Ate Pilar.
Hi, Ate Pilar.
Hello. Ang aga ni Ate Pilar. Love talaga natin si Ate Pilar, no? Tita Maha is here. Yes.
Tita
Happy
Maha.
St. Patrick's Day.
Yes.
Yes. Oo, makikinom ba kayo ng
yung mga
beer sa
nanonood dyan, the
amin?
people watching or not live commenting that we don't see, please, mag-live comment kayo or just
Yes.
share also this video amongst your friends so everybody can have a good time this more night with us. And of course, with our
Yes.
special
Oo.
guest.
Yes, nako, talagang we are now worthy. Enjoy Estanislao, right? Zabala, notify. Aba,
Hi,
hello.
Enjoy.
Oo. So anyways, ito na po. Introduce ko na ang ating special guest for tonight dito sa US and morning naman sa Pilipinas and sa Canada, syempre, evening. Kasi he is from Canada, right? Okay. Anyways, okay, I'll introduce our special guest for tonight. We are so excited and happy tonight because we literally see our guest everywhere on almost every streaming platform you can name off. Our guest is a very busy and in-demand Filipino-Australian actor in Hollywood. On the Peacock channel, you can find him acting with our favorite also Pinay ako ng napakagandang Zenaya Marshall in One of Us is Lying. He's also seen on Netflix original series, which is yung favorite namin ni Direk, Space Force and Another Life. He also played a supporting role alongside how do you pronounce this? Mahershala Ali and Glenn Close in the film called Swan Song on Apple TV Plus. Let's get to know more and find out how this Filipino actor is breaking the barriers and making it big in the Hollywood world. Guys, let's welcome the very talented and grabe, beautiful face. What a beautiful face. Pinoy Pride, JayR Tinaco.
Hello. What an introduction. Thank you. Wow, you make me feel so amazing.
Oh my, yes.
Diba?
Are you kidding me? Yes, you are. Oh my, look at that. Dad, can you please close up at that beautiful face?
Oh my God,
Look
I'm
at that.
looking
They are really going to make you conscious tonight.
Oh my
JayR.
God, from Canada, yes, because our friend V is here. From Vancouver. Where are you?
Oh, I'm in Vancouver, yeah.
Oh, you're Vancouver too?
Yeah.
Oh my God, look at
Oh,
that.
JayR, stay away from our friend. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm just kidding. No, she's
She's
very
V. She's
dearest
one of our
friend.
best friends, yes.
My God, JayR, before we welcome you with a toast, would you like to say hi to everyone who's watching, especially to the Filipinos, like you're
Yes.
fan all over the world?
Yes. I know that my family are watching, so I want to say hello to my mum. I want to say hello to my family in the Philippines, in Anda, Bohol. To all my people in Anda, I love you and I miss you, and I can't wait to see you guys soon.
Oh my! Wait, are you half Filipino, half Australian, right?
Half American, actually. There's a
Oh,
bit of a story there, but I'm half American, half Filipino, and then I grew up in Australia. So it's a very, yeah,
okay.
So
yeah,
That's
you,
why this side.
your happy is American. Oh, there
Oh
you go.
wow!
But
Is it
but you grew up in Australia.
okay?
yeah.
But is it
Who's living now in Canada? Wow.
Yeah.
I know, right? It's like okay.
Let's keep up.
But who was born in the Philippines, right?
Yeah,
It's like,
yes, yes.
okay,
Yeah.
we'll talk about it later. Like, oh my God, about your life story. Yeah, so
know, it's pretty-
so you don't speak, you understand a little bit of Tagalog, but you
little bit.
understand more of
Bisaya.
Bisaya.
Can you
So
can
gusto
you,
mo Bisaya
can you
diha.
greet your Visayan fans, your global Visayan fans?
I don't know
How
if
would
I
you?
can greet them. It's weird because when someone is speaking to me in Bisaya, I understand it, and then I can reply in Bisaya sometimes.
In the right way,
I can't.
basically.
It's not like conversational, and it's not very formal, so I'm not fluent. So I don't even know how to greet.
Oh,
Really?
wow.
Okay, we
Okay.
got it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I love the accent. I wish I was
Uh,
I was raised in Australia, so I'll get that accent. I don't know. Felt
Very
like the
good.
accent is
Just
like
get the
I sounded
accent
like
even-
Bisaya. If I say
No, I
"Oh
wouldn't
my
even
God."
try.
I know, don't even try. So, anyways, of course, before we start the conversation, we have a protocol here. We would like to welcome you with a toast. What are you drinking, JR?
I have bourbon and soda.
Ooh, bourbon and soda. I haven't tried
I
that.
love bourbon. I love bourbon.
Really? Let me try that one. So anyways, okay. Sa sambayan ng Pilipinas po at sa aming Dearest USA. Guys, let's welcome. My God. The beautiful face. JayR Tinaco. Welcome to Over a Glass or Two.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cling, cling, cling,
Cling,
cling.
cling, cling.
Mm.
Oh, neighbor V. Okay, one more. Can we have a picture?
A
A
class
A class
picture.
picture. Okay, go. 1, 2, 3. Ayan.
Look at that profile. I can't.
Right?
That chin profile. Even in the poster, I was like, okay.
I'll be honest with you, because there's a lot of pictures and photos, right? Like sometimes like they're that beautiful in a picture, but when you see them in person, or even like when you're talking to them in the video, they don't look that much in on the screen or in person.
Yeah.
But you have like the what do you call this? The V shape.
The real life filter. You have
Yes, you have the real life filter.
I think it's important. I think genes plays a big part, because I am part Filipino. That I look like my mother, and she was very, very beautiful. She still is very beautiful. And then I look after my skin, and I know how to do my makeup. So I think all of those combined, that really helps.
Yeah. So wait, what's your skincare regimen? I'm so curious.
I don't buy expensive products. I've stopped buying expensive products. I just buy really affordable things from the drugstore, very clean. And I try to stick to the same thing all the time, because I went through, when I was shooting Another Life, I was wearing makeup every day, and my makeup was quite heavy, and I would break out all the time. And so from then on, I went to a dermatologist, and they kind of helped me get my skin back on track. And it's just mostly about what you eat, you making sure your gut is healthy, and drinking a lot of water, and then just putting on clean products rather than things that have lots of fragrances and things like that.
Oh wow.
But everyone has different skin, so you should really go see someone and talk to
Okay.
somebody.
Do you
That's
have
my
like
tip.
a dry skin or oily or
I
combination?
used to have really oily skin, like Filipino oily skin, and then
Yes.
now it's turned into dry skin, and it's weird.
Yeah, that's how
Very dry.
mine
It
is too. It's like
changes.
weird. So wait, now I'm really curious. When did you start wearing makeup?
Oh my God. Probably I was an OG. I wore it before anyone else did.
Before it became a trend, even with males, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I think so. It's I was 16. 16, I was in high school, and I would hide wearing it, because we were from a really small town in Australia. There's one high school. I was like the only gay kid the only gay kid I knew in my whole town. But I used to love the way my makeup would look because I used to do dance and I used to do all these theater productions in school. And you'd have to wear makeup for the theater productions, but I would love wearing makeup all the time. I was like, oh, I wish my face could look like this all the time. So I would wear like a tinted moisturizer that wasn't too obvious, and then maybe a little bit of eyeliner up the top and smudge it up a bit so it didn't look like it was, too applied.
Yeah.
And that was when I was 16. So maybe 2005, 2004 is when I started wearing makeup. And then I've always just worn it because I like it. It's fun.
I know, like,
Mm.
wow, like, well, you look beautiful with makeup. I'm
Thank
sure
you.
without makeup too, right? But did you ever like at least go to like, let's say for example, like a one shoot, and they said like, oh, barely makeup, no makeup.
Yeah, all the time. Space Force, I wore hardly any makeup. That was just
Oh
a
yeah,
little
yeah, in
bit of
space.
concealer. Um, a lot of them like my look, actually. Like when I do work, a lot of them like the way I present myself. Because when I audition, depending on the character, I will put makeup on. If the character doesn't really call for makeup, then I won't wear it. But generally, there's like a base where they just do like a concealer and a little bit of color here and there, but nothing. But Space Force was probably the least makeup I wore.
Okay, because I'm curious when you were, because I know you started wearing makeup when you were 16. You never thought about like, let me start a vlog, because I know that's how like
They didn't
the
have it
famous
back then.
vloggers
They
started.
didn't have
Yeah,
it.
I
It
think
was
2000.
before YouTube.
Yeah, I think there's no
Oh,
YouTube then. Yeah,
There was no
you're the
YouTube
OG,
then.
the real OG.
OG, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but that helped me. That helped me. Like when the YouTube, and the beauty boys came out and the beauty vlogging came out, that helped me kind of express myself more and not be like afraid of trying more things. Because it's truly how I love to express myself. It's like an art form. So I feel like my true self when I have makeup on and, have some
It's
funky
true.
clothing. I love to mix male and female clothing a lot of the time. But yeah, it's just, I think makeup isn't just meant for women, and clothing it shouldn't be gendered. You should just be able to do whatever you like because it's your life. You have one life. So just
True,
live it the
true.
way, and it sounds cliche, but it's true.
It's true. That's so true.
Mm-hmm.
You know what, JayR, I'm so curious. Can you tell us about cuento? Like, tell us about your life. You know how you started this, because I know you were born in the Philippines. And how old were you when your mom decided, your parents actually decided to, to bring you to Australia?
Yeah, I mean, how much time do we have?
Oh, a lot.
We-
We have a lot of
This is a
time.
podcast for a
Honey,
road trip to
it doesn't
Pennsylvania.
matter.
3
Yes,
hours.
we're here to
It's
listen
okay.
to your story.
So I was born in Manila, around Manila, and my mum at the time my real father was part of the American Air Force. I don't know who he is. I did talk to her about this, and she said I can share this with everyone. So it's not like exposing her secrets. But she she met like an American soldier there, and they were friends, and they met at a party, and then the next thing happened. And in the Philippines, they don't really believe in contraceptive. It's against their religion. So the next thing is me. I'm produced. He doesn't really know that I exist because he was gone. And so she was left with a kid that, didn't have a father. And then she met an Australian guy when I was like 4 years old. And then she married him, and he took her to Australia, and she took me. And then we moved to Australia when I was 4 years old. He was my stepdad at the time. And we kind of moved all over Australia. We weren't with him for very long, kind of just, yeah. And so it was just my mum and I for like the longest time. So I grew up as an only child, but I do have siblings in the Philippines. She had 4 other kids. But yeah, I grew up with her, very, very close to my mother. And yeah, it was just the 2 of us for like the longest time.
So, you lived in Australia. Did you live in a city, or did you also live like near the
No,
mountains, by the beaches? Did you
very
experience those?
beach. Yeah, so it was all beach coastal towns, very small towns, never a city. And then I moved to the city when I was old enough to move, like when I was 18. But yeah, it was. I think I moved elementary schools like 9 times, so it was very,
Oh, wow.
very up and down like a roller coaster ride. I feel like my mum's and my childhood, that part of our life, that chapter could definitely be like a film or a book, because so much happened. But yeah.
And it could be in the future. We don't know.
Maybe I'll write it. Yeah.
I know. Oh, based from one of our research, you were bullied growing up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about that.
I think any kid that is LGBTQ plus is going to go through that, especially if they're very like expressive and they're a little more obvious than someone that is straight acting. Yeah, and especially like in a small town. Like a small town would be the same as a small town in America, I guess. They're pretty
It's true. It's so true.
Conservative. They're very set in their ways. So very like all my school friends were girls. Like it was me and then all the girls, So I got bullied for just having girlfriends. But I was very flamboyant. Like I did all the theater and I did all the dancing. I loved.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I was very, very that. So of course you're going to get bullied at that, and especially I think kids are doing better these days.
Oh yeah. Compared before, right? Especially in a small town, right? I'm sure most of those guys are jealous too because you hang out with the beautiful girls, right?
Exactly.
They'll be like, right? They'll be like, how come?
Oh yeah.
What is that?
What is that?
What is that?
This is a play this is like a little video I put together, but it's just little clips of when I used to make films at home.
God.
Oh, look at you.
And
Look at you.
A friend of mine, a friend of mine and I, she's also Filipino. We would make movies together, and we would, I think like when I was 12 and 13, we would write scripts and shoot a whole movie. And then we would do music videos and then just put the track over it. And then she wanted to be a director and I wanted to be an actor. And every day we would just make things. And this is like a tiny little snippet of me being silly as a kid. But
Oh
oh my God,
God.
it's so funny.
You are really.
You can tell, like, look at me, like
You
very.
You can tell right away.
You're really meant for the limelight,
Exactly.
And going back to the.
Oh my God! Look at you! Look at you!
Oh my God. And then
That
I
is
tasted
so
carrot again.
cute.
Look at you. And
So funny.
going back actually to what we're talking about, like being bullied, because I was bullied too when I was in grade school, going to high school. And it was pretty hard growing up, and somehow I still do carry the emotional scars of that. So I applaud you that you have gone through it, because unfortunately others weren't so lucky, right? So how did you, when at that young brain of yours, when you were still young, how did you cope with all that happening around you and what they're doing to you?
I don't know if it's not like I was trying to cope with it. It's just like you have to. Like it's just you have no other choice, right? You almost become numb to it sometimes. Like it's every day. So every day is the same. So it just becomes your normal. If anything, if it didn't happen one day, then you'd be like, oh, this is a weird day. Like I'm not getting called, the F word or whatever. So you just become so super numb to it, and it becomes normal, which is so sad. But that's, I think, how I dealt with it. I guess I wasn't trying to deal with it. I just had to.
Mm-hmm. You didn't have any choice.
No,
So what about your mom? What about having a Filipino mom? Because you know how Filipino moms are. They're very protective of their kids. It doesn't matter whether they're right or wrong. If you're like, try to bully my kid, I would definitely go straight to you. And if I can punch you, I will do it.
My mum is a different sort. She is like that. She is protective, but she has a lot of tough love. Her style is very tough.
Oh, wow. Okay.
She grew up that way as well, with her parents being, very tough love, very independent. And so she kind of treated me that way. It's like, if someone calls you a name, then you just keep going, ignore them, don't worry about it. It's fine. So it was never like she would go out of her way to protect me in that sense. She would just be like, kids are kids.
But it's sometimes, that sometimes others fight back. And sometimes there's also violence. I did not personally. I'm too lame to do that.
Yeah.
How about you? Did you talk back? You were the same.
No, never. I was when it came to the bullies, I was very shy and scared of them because they're always bigger boys than me. So I'm not gonna, say anything to these big boys that could probably beat me up. Like I would just completely ignore it. Like it would say something, I wouldn't even react. Like I didn't hear it. So I always felt like that was the best way at the time to deal with it. I don't know what would happen if I were to say something. I didn't even tell teachers or anything. Like, it just wasn't. I was just so used to it, so it just was whatever. You
Yeah.
know, which is
You know what? I'm sure all those bullies, all those kids who bullied you when you were younger, now are like, oh my God, look at you.
I'm
Look
sure
at
they
JR.
would recognize you like
Yeah.
whatever they go to and go to what platform, right, Jesse? They'll be like
Right?
JR.
JR.
it's funny because like sometimes I mean I've gone back to my town. Like all my best friends are still there. All the girls that I grew up with are still there. My mum lives very close to that town still. She doesn't live in the town, but she's close. So when I go back to visit, there were times where I would see those boys out, and this is like when I'm in my mid-20s, you know, and so we're out of high school, and times moved on, and you would see them at the bar or whatever, and they'd be like, you know, I just want to say I'm really sorry for how I treated you in school, and that's happened like maybe 2 times. 2 guys said that to me, but
Aw,
yeah, that was lovely that they
That's good.
recognized.
That's good.
And
exactly.
yeah, kids are, you know, they don't really realize until
I
they're an adult.
know.
Until they're an
It feels
adult.
really good.
That's true.
I had one who did that to me too when I was in the Philippines, and it's like a complete circle. It makes it everything easier. Like, you know, and makes you think that as kids we don't really know what we're doing and what we're saying, and sometimes you just mean for being mean. And sometimes,
That's
and
so
and
true.
personally, I didn't really fight back and say anything because most of these guys who bullied me are my crushes too. So
Uh,
I like those guys are like, oh my God, I have a big crush on this guy. Oh, but wait,
so
I'm curious, like, how was it like growing up with a Filipino mom? Do you have siblings?
So she had, to her first husband, she had 4 kids, and then she had
Oh,
me to this American man. But
okay.
I didn't grow up with them. But
Oh, it's so
oh,
whenever I go
oh
back
my
to the
god.
Philippines, they are my
yes.
siblings, you know. So it would always felt like that they were my siblings. They're much older than I am, but I love them like they are my like full, you know, full siblings, not
So
half siblings.
mabait sila sa
Oh,
They yeah.
Buutan sila.
Buutan sila sa imo pag
Oh,
if you
but
see
how is
them,
it
okay?
growing up with the Filipino
oh, I
mom?
loved it. Like I think there was a really big Filipino community in our town. I have a lot of Filipino friends in that town as well. They're all like half Filipino as well. Like their dads are Australian and their mums are Filipino. But you know, every weekend there would be a big Filipino party or a lunch, and there'd be
Oh
so much
wow.
food. They'd have a big lechon. There would be pancit, their adobo, all the food.
Oh
Um,
wow.
so I grew up in the culture. You know, it wasn't like I was having just a Filipino mother. That's all I knew. So the food was. I used to get teased for bringing my rice and like whatever the leftovers from dinner were to
From the yeah.
To
school,
school
because white, you know, the Australian kids, they would have a sandwich
or an
and they'd be
apple
like,
and that's it.
yeah, and then I had a full-on rice with this and here and then like a full meal, and I would
With
get
something that
teased.
yeah, they
They
don't
would,
even know what that is, right?
and they would taste it, and it was like, oh my god, this is amazing. I'm like, yeah, this is what I get to have for lunch, and you have to have a freaking banana, like, you know,
And our friend V from Vancouver is like, may I ask why rain cover?
Vancouver,
Vancouver.
because this is where
Vancouver.
all the acting work is. There's lots of work in Vancouver. So that's why I
Oh.
chose Vancouver. Yeah, for now.
Oh, okay,
Ah,
okay,
LA,
okay.
LA is really good. Obviously, it's the main hub to go, but the visa is really, really difficult to get. So
Okay. So
okay. So the
so you
second
can,
best thing because of the
yeah,
if not for
yeah,
the visa is Vancouver. Yeah, because they shoot a lot in Canada too, right? I mean,
a lot,
yeah.
so much.
okay. How come you didn't choose to stay in California? Oh, because of the
The
visa. Oh, I
visa,
thought you
Yeah,
were
it's
talking about
harder to
something else.
get.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's harder to get. But of course, if given a chance, if you can stay in California or New York, you will
I
in a
mean,
heartbeat.
Jesse with that resume. Oh my
I would
I
god.
have
love to. I would love. Actually, my dream is to have like an apartment in New York City. That's my dream. Yeah,
it will happen. We're
yeah.
claiming it for you,
You can
JR.
do whatever
Yeah,
you want.
that's
You
what I
can
want.
do
It,
whatever
LA,
you want.
LA is fun, but it's not like New York. New York has like a buzz about it. It's always something's going on all the time. There's always a new show to see. There's so much to do. So I love that. Keeps you
Actually,
young.
your aura is really a New Yorker, right? I
Yeah, all
thought
good.
in the
Thank you.
beginning,
That's a compliment.
yeah,
Thanks.
I really thought in the beginning, I was like, is he a New Yorker?
Yeah, no,
And
no,
they
I
were,
wish.
it will happen. It will happen.
Yeah.
So how did it start? Like, growing up, I know you love you've been in acting class, right? Like in school, you were so
Theater.
active in theater. So
Yeah.
how did it start? Like, did you tell your mom that, Mom, I wanna be an actor right away? How did it start? Tell us.
Um, when I was 5, she put me in dancing class, so like a little ballet class where you would wear, and I was the only boy in dance class, and I think
Oh
that
wow.
started it. And then I was in elementary school. It was a lot of the school play. I would be involved in all the plays. And then outside of school, I did this drama club that I would, go to after school and learn just like theater sports and games and just play. It was just playing around really. But I think my earliest memory was when I was 6, watching like Entertainment Tonight. And I think before a big release of a film, they would show the behind the scenes of the film that was being made. And I think at that time it would have been like Jurassic Park or something. And I was so fascinated by how they made these big dinosaurs just for this film and they weren't real. And that, you're in this world that's completely make believe. And at that age, at 6 years old, you play with your toys and that's your make believe world. So to think that you can do that and play with your toys for the rest of your life as
Yeah.
work is amazing. I was like, oh my God, I can play for the rest of my life. This is what these adults are doing. They're just playing. So I think ever since then, it kind of like switched. And I was fascinated with film and I was fascinated with TV and how they were made. And then when DVD started coming out, you would get the special features and the behind the scenes of the movie. And sometimes I wouldn't even watch the movie. I would just watch the behind the scenes because I was so fascinated with the behind the scenes and how things are made.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
and now that I'm acting, I love acting, of course, but I also still love the behind the scenes stuff and how things are made and the business side of things. I would love to be a producer one day, and I'm actually writing my first film right now. So that's coming together. So it's like,
Nice.
I love it. I love it all.
Oh my God. Look at you. One of these days you'll be a director and a producer.
Oh,
What,
directing is it's very scary. The idea of directing is very
Not
scary.
directing yet. Not
producing,
directing. Yeah.
producing,
Acting and
writing
producing in your own film.
I won't say no to directing. It could happen, but it's a different ball game. You have to love directing, I think, and they work very, very, very hard.
But you're young. I mean, there's so many things that will happen in your life for sure. So what about in Hollywood? Like, what was the first stint that you had? Like, that you were like, I made it. Like, how did it start? No, we'll talk about Space Force later because that's like we were like blown away with Space Force. But like, how did it start in Hollywood?
So I think my first Netflix series, Another Life, I was a series regular. So a series regular is someone that is like in every episode. So they're like part of the main cast. And it's a really big deal to get a series regular role. A lot of actors want series regular roles, and they're generally a lot of auditions to get that role. They audition so many actors for it. And so when I booked that was a pretty big deal for me because it was this Netflix series, sci-fi, with Katie Sackhoff as the lead, who's really big in the sci-fi world. So getting that, I was like pretty excited, and I was just like, wow, this is incredible that I get to do this every day as my day job. It's there we go.
Wow.
Yes, but
my day-
Oh my God, I'm so
how did
proud
you
of
audition for Another Life? Did they have a specific role? It said in there that they're looking for someone who's gay, and you also be part of in the space station and Another Life. Is that how it was?
Yeah, so you just get because I was starting out really, I had been in Vancouver for a year and a half, and I have managers in Vancouver, and they go through, what all the auditions that are coming through and the briefs that are coming through from shows, and they kind of see what's right for me, and then they'll send it to me, and then I just do the audition. So it was pretty much a pretty like standard like audition call for it. I fit the brief of the character, and then that's it really. I had 2 auditions, and that was the callback was with the director and the producer, and that was really scary. And I'd never done anything like that before, and I actually thought that I did a really bad job. Like I remember leaving that audition, and I called my manager, and I was like, "I'm not going to get it. Like I did such a bad job." I think I got into a bit of a fight with the producer, not a fight, like a little bit of an argument about the character. And I was like, oh, I opened my mouth. I shouldn't have said this. I just didn't really agree with how they were telling me to do it because I just don't feel the character would do that. And I was getting in my head. And, my manager, Mary, she was just like, just don't worry about it. It's fine. If you don't get it, it's okay. But you don't know. You have no idea what they're saying, And then I think like 4 days later, I got the call to say that I got it. So that was pretty crazy.
I really love Another Life, and that's the first time I saw you in there. Look at the cast, and it's like you were really a standout, not just because of your acting, but actually how you look like. You're like, oh my God, like is he handsome? Is he beautiful? That was that.
I know, like you kind of like
questioning, like, wait, a woman, a man. That's exactly.
Yeah.
Those were my questions, and then while watching the whole thing, what I'm most interested about, Jessie, is your kissing scene. What is his? What is?
I didn't see that. Yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
After
What is his
this.
name?
Okay.
He's cute too. Well, how was that? Were you kilig?
Was there a butterfly in your stomach?
Your first major kissing scene in a regular role in Netflix.
It doesn't look as romantic and sexy as it appears. There are people everywhere watching. And it was like one of those things where we knew it was coming, so the anticipation was building. Like, oh, we have our makeout scene coming up next week. Do you want to talk about it? And like, no, I'm good. And AJ Rivera, who plays Bernie, he's a very fun person, very open person. Is easy to talk to. We got along really well through the whole shoot. He's still a friend now, and I still talk to him now. But I was like, are you okay? I'm the one that's gay. You're not. You've got a wife and kids. Like, are you okay?
Wait, how many? Yeah, and how many takes was that?
Sorry?
How many takes did it take?
They tried not to push it too much. But the thing is, I don't even know. There was a lot because you have so many different angles to shoot, right? And maybe you do like 4 takes of each setup, they call them. So like an angle. So I don't know, maybe like 15 takes of that.
Ooh.
And like,
Wow. Because
towards the end, he had a beard as well. So towards the end, I was just like, oh, I'm getting really
you have
very
the stubble
painful.
rashes on yourself. Oh wow.
Yeah. And after and then I just did a show now where it's similar, but it's just so like normal now. It's like if you have to kiss someone, it's like saying a line. It's so it's just normal to me. It's part of the job.
Just do
It's
it.
part of the job.
Scary.
Yeah.
Just do
If
it.
you see it in there.
And even
Because when you did it, I was like,
what-
woo! I was like,
Yeah.
really, oh my God. I was really feeling
I'm
it
gonna
because I was
watch
like,
that
yes,
later.
represent,
yeah. And I wanted to make it sexy. I wanted it to be really I remember thinking about this couple because you don't really see couples like this on TV or film.
You don't really see that a lot.
And I thought it was really, really beautiful, and I just really wanted to do it justice. And I wanted it to be sensual and sexy, and I wanted people to watch it and actually see this happen without it cutting away or whatever else. So I tried really hard to make it the best it could be.
Oh, curious. What about Filipino movie? Did you ever think about when you were younger, like, or maybe someone offered you like a Filipino movie, like, because some Filipino parents would wanna, or moms especially, would want their kids to be like, oh, when you grow older, we're gonna go to the Philippines. We're gonna go back to the Philippines and be an actor. But what about your mom or you?
The
Did you
exact
ever
same
think about?
conversation. Exact same conversation. Because I was always wanting to be an actor. So even through high school, I was like, I'm going to move to LA and become an actor. And I moved to Sydney, and I was in Sydney for like 10 years. And I was auditioning and nothing really happened. I did like a small indie film, and then I had a small guest spot on a show there. And the conversation, and I was working at a bar and a restaurant for the whole 10 years.
Oh, wow.
And so the conversation with my mum was always like, oh, I have an audition for this. And she was like, oh, another audition. Like it was because there was so many auditions for 10 years that I never got. So she was kind of like tired of hearing that I was going for an audition because she just didn't believe it was going to happen. Well, maybe not believe, but she just wanted the best for me and wanted me to get a solid job, and maybe should do this. And then I think maybe 8 years in, she was like, you should just email someone in the Philippines and go there. All the mestizas and mestizos go to the Philippines and become famous anyway. So go all the
Yes, that line. Oh my
Oh
God.
my God, that line. True. Okay.
And I was like, you can do it there. I was like, oh, but I don't speak Tagalog. I'm like, it's fine. A lot of them didn't. Ann Curtis, when she was 16, didn't speak
Oh, yeah.
Tagalog. I was like,
Right.
okay. And I think I could probably pick it up pretty quickly. And but for me, it wasn't. That wasn't my dream. That wasn't my dream. I wasn't just I wasn't trying to be famous. I wasn't trying to just get a lot of money. That wasn't the goal. So you have to really think about what you want. Filmmaking and being in films and in Hollywood films and working in, these huge productions was my dream.
So wait, so there was no line about nursing.
Yeah, you have to be a nurse.
She knew that I wasn't smart enough to be a nurse.
Okay.
She knew that, yeah. All my cousins are nurses. So
I know, right? You'd be like, no. So wait, I'm curious. Okay, so what age were you when you decided to move to Australia? I mean to
Canada.
Where did you move? To Canada, yeah.
I was 28 when I moved to Canada. So I've been here for 5 years, yeah.
Okay. No, when you decided to move, to do auditions, when you were younger. So 28 or
18.
18.
18.
So I was an adult at 18. So I moved away from my small town and moved to Sydney. And then, I was auditioning. You get a manager or an agent, and then you start going on auditions and to see what you can book and get. And it was 10 years of that. And then I moved here at 28.
Wow.
And moved here when I was 28 because my manager in Australia said, you should try Vancouver because there's so much work in Vancouver. And I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot because nothing's happening in Australia. And the visa in America is way too hard and expensive. So I moved here and I was here for about a year and a half working in a bar and then booked another life. So that was it was perfect. I had to be here.
This is really your time. Because you pretty much exploded, just like your work is everywhere, but we didn't see that behind that story is your 10 years of struggle to get where you are right now.
Crazy. And you...
Oh my God.
Yeah. They say an overnight success is 10 years and I would say that in my head all the time. And I was like, oh, I'm up to 5 years. I've got another 5 years to go. And it was...
Do you think... I'm thinking this way. Do you think it's also because of what's happening with us gays right now in show business internationally, is like with RuPaul and everyone in the drag? It maybe because 10 years ago or so, the flamboyant gays, there's pretty much not really a niche for them, and now that it's being slowly and now really accepted everywhere, that's why suddenly you have all the jobs.
Yep. I agree with that, and I think if that wasn't the case, and if there wasn't more awareness of it, and we weren't putting it in films, then I probably wouldn't be working as much. There's some roles that I get that I was like, I can't believe this is in this show, and it's still right now. I'm grateful for what I get, but it's still a bit. There's still a bit of tokenism with it. There's always the one gay kid or the one gay couple when there could be multiple, because that's real life. It's not just the token gay or non-binary character, or it needs to move on. But I'm very grateful that I'm still in things and that I'm getting seen and I get to audition and be in things.
It's a good start,
Yeah. Was there a time that they ask you, or hey, you really want this, especially when you were starting, that do you really want this role? You have to portray the role of a straight guy. Was there an offer during that time?
Even no, because the way I look.
Exactly, right?
I feel like if I was to get a really, really butch straight role, the next person that comes in is going to be way straighter and way butch than I am. So I think I never get really, my managers would never submit me for roles like that because they just know that it's not really likely.
Yeah.
If it's more neutral and, I'm open to it for sure, but we all play versions. Actors always play versions of themselves anyway. So I think for now, I'm happy staying in my lane. And then one day,
Exactly.
maybe when I'm, producing or wanting to do something different, I can try it. But for now, I'm still learning so much. Being on set and filming is every day is different, and every show is different. And I'm just open to learning more, and I just want to keep learning.
Yeah. So wait, so you survived for 10 years. Just wait, probably it happened to me. I'm going to give up on my third year, but like you were really focused and determined to
There's
really
so
like
many other people
reach
that
for
have
your goal.
longer. Yeah, a lot of actors go for
Really?
longer than that. Yeah, that's what they say. You have to really, really want it to get there, and then that's
Oh
the
wow.
whole point of not giving up. Is just
Yeah.
So
But was there a
that's the
time that
thing that
yeah.
that's lighting you on your rear on fire to go on is basically because you're really really hungry to act and to be in that world.
and I had nothing else. Like there was nothing else I wanted to do. So it's either this or I work in this
Wow.
restaurant for the rest of my life. And like I'm not gonna might as well try. Like I've never had a mindset of I've never thought about maybe I'll give up. There's never been one time where I've been like, maybe this is too hard. Never, ever, ever. It's
Wow,
always
that's
been,
good.
My
no, it's fine. I'll just
God.
keep going. And I have this rule: um, if I am very close to getting a job and I don't get it, or if there's like a rejection of any sort that makes me really upset, I allow myself to be upset for like 12 hours or like that day, and then the next day I have to get up and be happy and continue
And forget about it.
and forget about it. You have to, like, that's just how this business
Wow.
is.
That's very
Um,
admirable. Jesse, because Jesse,
Yeah,
I'm very
exactly.
impatient as an Aquarian. Even if I'm
Yeah. I'm a
very good at,
Capricorn.
if I'm good
You're a
at
Capricorn
something,
too, right?
I'm Capricorn.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
why
that's why.
you guys
There
are
you
go
go.
getters. Because if as an Aquarian, if I'm really good at something and I didn't get it, I get rejected. I get I feel bad and I don't want to do it again. I quit. That's
Right.
how I am.
And
Wow.
always, do you know what, JR? I'm his pusher.
That's why
Yeah.
we're
Not the
friends.
other, not the
The
drugs.
Capricorn pushes the
Yeah,
Aquarian.
I'm
Yeah.
the pusher. Like I push him, I scream at him because he
Until
knows I
now.
love him.
Yes.
He's like my brother, so I
Uh-huh.
scream at him and I'll be like, "What are you doing?" He'd be like, "No, this is me." I'm like, "I can't believe it.
Wow.
Go
Yeah.
push."
So
And he's
that's
like,
Yeah.
"Why can't
why.
you just?"
That's good. That's really
Yeah.
admirable.
Mhm.
And look
Wow,
at you're
for
enjoying the
10.
fruits of your labor right now.
Yeah, and I mean,
Exact.
I still have a long way to go. Like, it doesn't mean, like, I'm still at a point where I have to still audition for things. I'm not being offered films right now, but yeah, I just have to keep going. There's still a long way to go, so I'm ready for it. The fact that a little bit of it's happened and there's proof that I can work and that I'm good enough to work is enough for me to keep going.
Oh, of all the roles that you played, what's your favorite?
Mm. One that I just did that I can't talk about, which will be out next year. One that I did right now, like I did it last week. That was probably my favorite. But besides that, it's called the Fall of the House of Usher. So it's a horror series for Netflix. So it's
Wow.
showrun by Mike Flanagan, who did Haunting on the Hill, Bly Manor,
Oh my God.
Midnight Mass. He does all these really amazing horror films and series for Netflix. And so I'm doing his new series. And that was a lot of fun, like a lot of fun, like crazy.
Wow.
I can't say anything because I'll get in trouble.
You're really,
But
I was right. In the introduction that I wrote, you are really the Netflix baby now.
I've done so much Netflix things. It's crazy.
You
Always,
are.
if you go through my resume, it's all Netflix. But yeah, I mean, they're very progressive and they're very inclusive with their casting. So I'm really grateful to Netflix for
But is
casting
there
me in all the things.
is there I've never heard a Filipino actor that who's always in Netflix. Just you.
Really? Oh,
Just you. Right?
I'm
You
sure
are-
there's
you-
others. I'm
Like
sure there's
always.
others.
Probably- you're
No,
doing
what
your
I'm saying
good
is
job.
always there.
Yeah.
Always. Like John Briones, like that once. But you always there. We were like
Twice. John John
twice,
yeah.
right? But JR is like JR's everywhere.
Shay
we are-
Mitchell is pretty busy as well.
Oh
She's
yeah,
working
she is
on-
too.
yeah,
She-
yeah,
she's
true, true, true.
beautiful. Shay, wow.
Oh my God, we are so proud of you.
Thank you.
What about the role or movie that you hated the most? Is there one?
Hated.
If there's any, or probably not.
For whatever reason that is, and
Hated. There are definitely difficult days. It's not. I would never hate it. Like I'd rather be there working than at home sitting on the couch. You know what I mean? So I don't hate
Okay.
any days. Just some days are difficult. Some days are way more difficult. Sometimes you don't feel like you're doing a good job, so then you feel a bit down about it because you want to be the best actor you can be and you want to impress everybody. And then sometimes you don't feel great about it, or you get reviews on a show that aren't great, and that brings you down. But I've never hated being on a show.
Oh, what about was there like a how do you deal with a difficult director or a difficult
If there is.
coworker or
Oh,
I guess any,
that's smirk. There's a smirk. There's a smirk
or
in there.
actors and actresses that you work with? They'd be like, because I know Capricorns are very like, chill. Okay,
No
fine.
comment.
Yes, go with the flow. Oh, what
No
is it? Oh, no comment. Okay,
No.
no comment about it.
No, I
Yes.
think you just have to, again, like everyone is a different personality. You're going to get different
Yes.
people all the time. And I think it's just trying to understand everybody and their perspective. I just get really upset when people don't try as hard as I'm trying or other people are trying. Like the crew work really, really hard and very long hours. So when you have an actor that isn't kind of pulling their weight, it's a bit insulting. Like it's really insulting because there's so many actors
True.
that would want to be there in their position. So that's probably the most difficult. And it's not happened a lot with me, maybe like a few times, but not a lot, where you see actors like that with a bit of an attitude. You just have to it's not I can't do anything about it in my position, you have to ignore it and you just have to do your job and do your best work.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Just
Different
brush it off and
it's
that's it.
different personalities. You can
Can't
do anything
that.
about it.
But when I'm a producer, I won't stand for it. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
There
Of
you
course.
go. Sorry.
Go home. Hello.
Go
We don't have
home.
we don't have time for that
Bye.
attitude. Yeah.
Bye. So, what do you usually do during your spare time? What's your hobby?
Not much. It's crazy because Vancouver is, and I guess with COVID as well, it's been difficult to kind of go and do anything. In my downtime, I've been writing this film that I'm hoping to get made. I started writing it in December 2020.
Wow.
So, that was like kind of at the, we had a year of COVID almost by then. And it was December and I was just kind of sitting here. I was like, I can't sit down and do nothing anymore. I'm just going to see if I can write a film, because I love film. I'll see if I can do it, and kind of taught myself. It started off really bad. Like I had no idea what I was doing, and gradually got better. And I kind of taught myself. And over the last 2 years, it's kind of come to a point now where I'm talking to producers about it, and we're trying to find a director to come on board to make it. So hopefully, fingers crossed that it will get made. So that's more so what I do in my downtime, is kind of looking after that, and that has a lot of my attention. Mhm.
Wow. Could you
Oh
tell
my
us
God.
like
Must
what
see
genre is
bug.
this?
So it's pretty much this kind of coming of age love story about this non-binary character who I would probably play, that has this like summer romance. The story is very conventional, but with more of an unconventional lead. So you would never see someone like me or a non-binary actor, a gay actor, like do and play this kind of lead role in this romantic film. I never see lead roles come my way for myself. So I was like, well, why didn't I write myself into a lead role? That way I can show the industry that I am capable of doing it and that people like it. So that's kind of where it stemmed from. It's kind of this story of all my love stories in one, all these little things that have happened in my life, the bullying aspect as well, and things of that nature. So it's
So it's kind of like semi autobiographical, but
a little
not
bit,
really.
but not, just
Oh,
dramatized.
and I have my question, by the way, and if you don't mind me asking, what do you identify with? Non-binary, gay?
So non-binary and gay are different things.
Yes.
Non-binary is more so kind of like dealing with gender and not feeling like a type of gender. So I guess for me, it's always been, I express myself with makeup and I'll wear like, male and female clothing. I never really understood why I did that. I always just thought I was a really flamboyant gay person. But I think when it comes down to gender, is I just don't feel like either gender in my soul. It kind of feels like this is male and this is female, and I'm somewhere floating in the middle. And sometimes I'll move over to the male, and sometimes I move over to the female more. It's just kind of like I don't belong in either category.
In any
I think
category.
there's like
Okay.
almost 8 billion people in the world, and you have 2 categories, for them. So I just don't believe that. I don't understand that. There's different ways of where your soul should fit and where you live in that spectrum. So for me, that's how I see it. But I still go by he pronouns, and I use they pronouns as well. And then obviously I'm gay.
Okay.
Which is everyone knows what it is.
No, because you know
Wait,
what? I'm speaking to like my roommates right now who's queer, and now like, and sometimes I think she's also talking to a friend of hers, and they said they don't even want to identify even as non-binary, like non-binary. So like, okay, it's like
It's just
like it's
labels.
whatever. Yeah, it's whatever you want to
label.
be. No labels, basically. Yeah.
Labels are really difficult. If you put labels on things, I think sometimes it becomes a bit more confusing for people. I think people should just be free to be whoever and whatever they want to be,
True.
as long as
That's
they're
so
not
true.
hurting people.
Yeah.
Love who you want to love. Believe in what you want to believe in, and that's it. Like, my business is none of your business. You know what I mean? So I think,
so
Be
true.
be who you want to be.
yeah, and I don't
Exactly.
think
Yeah.
you need to no one really needs to understand who I am, because where does that get you in your life? Because you know where I stand in mine. Like, it doesn't get you any further.
Yeah.
It's
You're
so
not
true.
learning anymore about yourself. Like, just worry about yourself and I'll do me. But I'm
Exactly.
open to like talking about it, and I love to educate, but also I'm still learning about it myself. So my words aren't, end all or be all, or the set in stone rules of what non-binary is. It's just how I feel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, while you were talking, you and Jay Cass are discussing about non-binary. I'm like just mesmerized with your face. I swear, I'm like, because I love pretty face. I mean, a lot of people,
Yes.
some people was like, Jessie, are you bisexual? Because there's some girls like they whenever there's beautiful girls, they're like,
Yeah.
she's not beautiful. But with me, I'm like, sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful. But I know I'm 100% straight, but
Yeah.
I just love looking at beautiful face, and you have a freaking beautiful face.
Au natural, ladies and gentlemen. Au natural. Yeah.
Wait. So wait, is there? I'm sure a lot of I don't know, like guys are all over you.
Here we go.
Like
Here's the
love
question.
life. Like, yeah. Like, how's your love life? Who's making you smile and tickle and what?
I'm in a relationship,
Oh,
but yeah. But they don't want to, like, they're very private. So they
Okay,
don't want to, like,
Yeah.
be spoken about or like
Oh,
anything.
yes.
But it's weird, because it's like, through my life, it's not been ever like, beauty or how you look isn't everything. Like, it has to be way
Sure.
more than that.
Of
And,
course.
yeah, you might be attracted to somebody, and then it's just kind of like, it's the same as everybody. Like, it's not just because someone's really beautiful doesn't mean they get everything they want and they have the most amazing
yes, that's so
relationships,
true.
and
Yes.
there's people falling at their feet. It's just not, well, for me, it's not been that way. It's been a pretty normal, like, love
Okay.
story,
Love
or
story.
lack of love.
Oh, how long have you been in a relationship?
Pretty long, 5 years.
Wow.
Oh, then you are a Capricorn. Because Capricorn are really like into long relationship, right? Like, for some reason, we're loyal, right?
Yeah.
Oh, right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
wait, dear, what else do you want to do during your spare time aside from okay? You said like writing, right? Like, do you love to cook?
Yeah. Do you cook
love to do
Filipino food?
Yeah. I just learned how to cook sinigang properly, like, so it tastes like my mum's sinigang. My go-to is adobo, because it's so easy to make. Like, if I have rice every day and I have to, like,
Wait.
diet
Rice every day?
almost. I should probably
Where
not
does
have
it
rice every
go?
day.
But where does it go?
That's what I mean. So I've been dieting for the last 2 months, because I've been eating so much rice, especially now, like in COVID, where you just sit down and do nothing and then you eat everything. But I did order some a couple of days ago. I had litson paksiw, sinigang, and then pancit, and then I just have this big rice, and then I just eating everything. Had
Oh
so
my
much.
God. You weren't filming a mukbang, right? That was just a typical night.
That was just me. Yeah.
But do
And
you,
it's
do you,
great
do you
for the rest of us.
exercise? Do you
Yes,
exercise?
I exercise every day, almost every day.
What do you do?
which
Do you
is good.
run? Or
I do a lot of
elliptical?
high intensity workout. I have like a trainer and there's a coach, and we.
Oh, burn that
Oh,
rice,
okay.
baby. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, you
okay.
have
That's the
to.
reason.
Yeah, you
That's
have
the
to.
reason why. Yeah.
Yeah, but I
Otherwise,
do love food. I'm a big foodie. It's like probably my greatest love after film is like food.
oh God, who doesn't
Yeah,
love food, right?
yeah, I love
I'm
food.
curious, like, how do you? Because that's why I salute actors and actresses, because whenever we watch a movie, it's like, okay, we're watching a movie, but thinking about it, like the memorizing those lines are so hard. I mean,
Mhm.
memorizing alone, I mean, our what whatever that we're reading on the books
Yeah.
during exam, right?
Mhm.
During, while we were in school, it was really difficult.
Yeah.
Imagine you guys, you have to memorize all the lines, especially if it's a long line. So what's your secret in doing that?
Just practicing as much as you possibly can and having someone to help you read it out loud, I think, and play with it. And if you're someone that is really worried about that, you should get like a coach or a trainer or an acting coach or tutor in that sense, if you're worried about it, because it can be pretty scary. Like, it's so scary when you're on set. Like, I have nightmares of me being on set and forgetting my lines, because you don't ever want
Oh
that
wow.
to happen, right? But everyone makes mistakes. Everyone, like on Space Force, I tell this story all the time, and my friends just like, stop speaking about it. You need to get over it. But I'll tell you guys.
Okay.
I was on Space Force, and I had a moment where I was with Steve Carell, John Malkovich, Ben Schwartz. There was like this huge gang of like incredible comedy actors surrounding me, and there was this one line that I kept tripping on. I was fine in the beginning. I was like doing it, but when the camera was on me, I stumbled on myself, right? And the moment that I stumbled on it, I couldn't get it out anymore, and I was just constantly like, and then I started spiraling into this like almost a panic attack, because I felt like I was a bit of a failure, and I was doing it in front of Steve and in front of John Malkovich. So that was really, really scary for me. But they don't. I'm sure they're not looking at me saying, he's a failure. They're just like, this happens all the time for actors,
You
and
really got into your head, basically.
Oh,
so
okay.
into my head
I
about
could
it,
imagine,
because I was
because
being
really, I
really
mean,
fascinated. Yeah.
A-list actors like Steve Carell. Oh my
Yeah,
God! Look,
you want to be the best possible version of yourself on set, and
Yes.
I just didn't want of them to think that that's how I was, because I didn't have too much to say in Space Force. So when I did, I was like, I want to do a great job, and it wasn't that day. It wasn't, and I was just really upset about it. But
you're a smart scientist. That's what you're playing.
it's so
Exactly.
different, those words. And even in life, I had these huge speeches of like all this like tech, Star Trekky like jargon. I was like, what the am I saying? Like, what is this? So you really have to like, if you don't know what you're talking about, obviously study what you're talking about. So at least it comes from somewhere that is authentic, that of understanding what you're saying is really important. You shouldn't just learn the words. You should understand what you're talking about. For me, is like a no-brainer, but a lot of actors don't do that. But also, like on set, you do it so many times, so they're bound to get a take out of it. I think, like, you do it so many times.
How was it working with the big stars like John Malkovich
Malkovich.
and
The great Steve
and
Carell.
Steve?
How was
Yeah.
it?
I think
Oh
the
my God,
running
Steve
theme,
Carell.
the running theme with these A-list actors that have really long careers is they're all incredibly kind. They're all so kind. Mahershala Ali, who's a 2-time Academy Award winner, he's been acting for the longest time. Glenn Close, Steve Carell, John Malkovich, they're all really, really kind people. And I think that's probably a lot of the reason why they are such, have great careers, because people want to work with them, and they're, not only are they amazingly talented, but they're just good people. And I think that's really important, because they don't treat you less than or anything like that. They just treat you like a human being. And
Wow.
Steve was really amazing. He would open the door for you before you'd go in, and he would step aside, open the door, and let you go in first. And he was such a gentleman. And he has a reputation of being like the nicest man in Hollywood, and he lives up to that.
Because it feels nice too that not only you're working with them, but you're actually seeing them live in person, are idols, and they're actually nice. That's a good feeling, right?
Oh, and it's like, the heroes that I thought, and I've always wanted to work with Steve Carell, and then meeting him and working with him, and the fact that he's an incredible person is just like the best thing. It just really inspires you to be a good person first. I think not only a good actor, but like to be kind to people, because, if he's has this career and he's so kind, maybe I should be like that, So
it is.
it's
Were
really
you
simple.
starstruck? Were you starstruck?
I lost my shit with Steve Carell.
No shit.
How was the first day? How was the first time meeting him?
I couldn't even speak. I was just like, so I didn't see him, like, because usually my first day I was like, okay, today is my day with Steve Carell. And so you have a day where so before you start your scene, you all sit in the green room together, and you can have a little bit of a chit chat, and then you go do a rehearsal, and then after rehearsal you shoot the scene. So there's a bit of a gap before you start shooting. He wasn't in the green room. He wasn't anywhere. And then we're in there for rehearsal, and then he just walks in, stands there, and goes, "Hey, I'm Steve." I'm like, "Hi." And I was just like, so like, he's exactly how he looks on screen, and it was really bizarre. I was having like this out of body experience, just staring at him, going like, am I looking at a TV screen right now, or am I looking at him in person? I wanted to touch him. It was weird. It was just like,
is this
oh my
really
God.
him? Right?
And then when they say action, he's incredible, because there was a lot of improv on Space Force. So he's just making up all this stuff.
Oh, what happened? We hang. Oh my God.
He's so
It hang. The nice
okay.
part.
Hold that
Okay.
thought. Hold that thought.
Hold that thought, please.
Let's wait.
Okay.
Move,
Okay.
move.
Now it's good. Okay.
there,
Okay.
there.
And then.
Yeah.
Yes.
What was I
Okay.
saying?
Steve Carell, like when.
Yes. So when I forgot what was my train of thought.
When said action. I think
Action.
that's
Oh yeah.
action.
Oh, yeah.
When we were, the moment you call action, he's just so incredible with his improv, and so quick and so intelligent and just super fast. And it's so hard to keep a straight face because he's so funny. And it's like all from inside him. And then you see the real Steve Carell like live, and what you've seen on TV and films is in front of you. And it's like, oh my God, like no wonder he's this huge star, because he's so good. And it was very hard to keep a straight face, like especially when the camera's on you and you have to be like deadpan, like not laughing. It was very difficult,
Because it's always funny.
and that was a lot of comedy is a lot of fun. Yeah.
Oh my God. I wish we'll be there just to take a picture. Did you ever, like, the first time, like, can I have a selfie? Did you do that? That was.
I never asked.
Did you
for a
stop
photo.
yourself?
Oh no, you never asked for a photo?
No, we were in photos together, but I never asked him for a photo personally, because I just didn't want to be that person that was like, "Hey, can I get a photo?" I just kind of wanted to leave him, but like without being. I didn't want to be too much of a fan, and I wanted to be more of a colleague. But I got some videos of him and photos with him. So
Yeah, I
So
in your
that's
Instagram.
good, right?
At least he showed up in one of your videos. like
yeah,
impromptu.
Exactly.
he just ran over and did that.
Yes.
That was lovely, yeah.
Oh yeah. It's true. Wait,
Yeah.
Kiers, how did you get that role? How did you land that role?
Just auditioned for it.
Just audition for it?
Audition, yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
My God, we're so.
Yeah, it was
you know
very
what?
fun.
We're so excited for you. Like I hope like one of these days.
JayR the actor, his persona and how he look like is hot right now.
Yes.
Yes, that's why.
Wow. So what else can we expect from you? Like, do you think in a few months you'll have a new show coming?
Not released, but hopefully working. Like right now, I'm not on anything. I just finished this horror show for Netflix. But hopefully I'll have a job soon. It's like one of those things where I have to kind of keep every day is a new day and you don't know when you're going to get the next job. But I really want to keep working on my film and hopefully get that started and up and running and get that filming. And yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know, really just see what happens.
Well, you still have contact with Zanaya? Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, you're friends with Zanaya, right?
Yes.
She lives in Vancouver as well. We shot One of Us Is Lying, the pilot. I'm not in the series. I had a schedule conflict, so I couldn't do the rest of the series, but I'm in the first episode. But yeah, she's here and we talk on Instagram sometimes. And
wait. Oh my God, she was attacked like a few days ago in the mall.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
by an Asian girl, which is like so
Yeah.
ironic. What's happening right now? It's like I can't even.
Oh my
But
God.
but she's okay. It's good that
Yeah, I
she's
think
okay.
Is
she's
she
okay.
okay?
But, like,
She
it's
posted it
weird.
on social so that
Oh my
everybody
God,
would be
I didn't
aware.
see that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
hope
very
she's
scary.
okay, right?
We
Yeah,
love her. Yeah. Oh my God, that interview was one of the in my top
Yeah,
five.
like-
Yeah.
Very sweet demeanor
Sweet,
and very
candid.
kind.
Yeah.
very kind and
Yeah.
oh wow,
And of
Little
course,
angel, like a
beautiful,
little-
as beautiful as
Yeah.
you.
as beautiful as you. I hope
Nadine.
I know you'll be here by next week, right? Like you'll be in next week, right? You'll be in New York.
In 2 weeks.
In 2
In
weeks.
2 weeks.
Oh my
In 2
God,
weeks.
look at this hair flick.
Oh my God,
Where?
I'm
You have
so
to-
curious. Do
tell
you
us
have
about this.
plans of like growing back your long, beautiful, silky hair?
This is a wig, by the way, just so
Oh,
you know.
I thought that's
Oh
your
my
real
God.
hair.
No.
Look at that hair.
No.
Tell us about what's the story behind that.
Oh, I was just wearing my roommate's wig and decided to take a video of it.
I thought it's an audition for a shampoo commercial.
I
No.
know, right? You were just
Might
like,
as well.
"Ah."
I've been practicing my shampoo commercial my whole life. My L'Oreal. But that came naturally.
Oh my God, that's so funny. It's like the twirling of the hair.
Yeah.
And,
I know.
I also have a box full of wigs in here, but not as
Oh, yeah.
beautiful as it.
Different
Mine was
colors,
already,
too.
Mine are already crunchy because
Yes.
they're not real.
He said, "God." Yeah, so what's your dream role?
My dream role, that's a good question. Oh my goodness. I think it would have to be something that is something different to who I am, and like something that I've never done before. I can't think of like one role or who I'd want to play, but for now it's just like to be a lead of something. So that's my dream, is to be the lead of a film. That's where my dreams and my goals are right now. So I guess once I do that maybe it'll change. But for now it's
It
like
will
to be a lead of
You're
it.
pretty close to that.
Very
Well, I'm right.
close.
You're on your way.
So
So
if they're not going to put me in anything, I'll do it myself.
yeah.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
That's what you're doing already.
Oh my God.
And to piggyback on Jesse's question,
Mm-hmm.
if you would be able to put an A-lister that you love in a film, in your own film, who would you want to put?
I would love to work with Emma Stone. I'm a huge fan of Emma Stone.
Wow,
Yeah.
she's really great. She's
Or
beauty
Jennifer
and
Lawrence.
talent.
Like those two girls would be really
Oh
fun
my
to work
God.
with because they're just fun. They look like they would have a really good time on set, and they would be really good friends to have as well and to drink wine with.
Yeah, I think Jennifer Lawrence is like
yeah,
there's
I
a bit of
think so
craziness in
too.
her. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
like
I
a good
think
time.
going to work and then having friends there is a dream. There's nothing worse than going to work and not really enjoying who you're working with. So,
Exactly. It's like it doesn't feel like working, right?
Yeah,
Do you have any big Hollywood star friends, like close friends? Right now?
Is it name drop time, Jesse?
Name dropping time.
I don't think so. I can't really think at anyone off the top of my head that's like huge that I just talked to. No, I would say no, not right now.
Okay. Very
Yeah, I have,
soon you
but-
will.
I have acquaintances, but they're not
Yes.
like friends that I
Like
can
close,
call
like
up.
close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I-
of course,
yeah.
but if it happens that that you have this A-listers on your speed dial, and of course, if you become one of them, please don't forget a little all over a glass or two.
You
Please.
can do a part two.
Please.
We're gonna take your word on that, since you're the one who offered.
Aside from part two, I'm inviting myself actually to the premiere. It doesn't matter even if we're
we can
just
do
gonna
like
be
a
in the corner.
New York premiere for Tribeca or something.
Yeah,
Yes, please.
whatever. Yeah. Oh my God, yes.
Tribeca Film Festival. You guys were invited to the premiere of my film.
Oh my God, that will be a
Oh my
dream
God,
come true.
I'm excited.
Be a dream come true.
Yeah, I mean, imagine you going to your Tribeca Film Festival. I can see it in like less than a year or two. Oh my God, you'll be like up there. We'll be like, that's Filipino.
Yeah,
JayR. Why? Oh, free tickets. He's like, free tickets. I'm like, what?
I think our director also wants dinner.
Free.
Everything.
Because direct JB.
Yeah.
Direct JB wants to go. Yeah. OMG. You know what? Okay, I know it's like an hour or something, right? But okay, I'm curious. Like who's the real JayR Tinaco? The camera's off, the light. There's no. You're not you're not in shooting. You're just in a set, and you're just by yourself, or you're with your friends. So exactly. Who are you when no one is watching?
Oh my goodness. When no one's watching, that's a good way of putting it, because it's different. When you say the real, it gets a little like scary. But when no one's watching is a bit better way to think about it. When no one's watching, I am usually dancing around my apartment, pretending I'm like Janet Jackson or Britney Spears.
Wow.
I turn the music up really loud. I love to sing and I love to dance. Eat whatever I want. So I'm a bit gluttonous in that way. I like to overindulge in like food.
Yeah.
Really?
I'm a huge like lover of my friends and my family. Like I'm a huge mummy's boy. I love my mum so much, and my friends a lot. And I have a really small circle. I don't have a very big circle of friends. They're very small and they're very loyal, and that's how I want it to be forever. I don't need to have a big group of friends. And I love the small things. I really miss the small things in life. I love going out for dinner with a friend. Like that's like one of my favorite things to do, or going to the theater and watching a film. Like it's my favorite thing. So I'm pretty simple, I would say. That's like,
wow.
the everyday
pleasure? Guilty pleasure, like you buy handbags, all this, or this expensive shoes and all this stuff.
I don't buy too many luxury items. I mean,
wow.
My guilty pleasure would probably be food again. Like I know I keep saying
food.
I love eating.
Oh
my God. If I could eat whatever I wanted, I would eat all day, every day.
Me too. But
really?
I have the fat gene. I can't do it. Even with me being on a treadmill, it's still hard. How about because you are a Netflix baby. Mm-hmm. What is in your rotation right now on Netflix? Because apart from that, you also watch The Housewives. So it's a two-part question.
Okay. What do I watch on Netflix? I'm trying to think of the shows that I've just seen that I liked.
Inventing Anna.
I didn't watch Inventing Anna.
How about a Tinder Swindler? There.
I did watch that. It was interesting, but like it wasn't groundbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
The last show that I loved that I watched, it wasn't actually a Netflix series, but it was a Hulu series called Normal People, and it was like this love story between this. It's like an Irish love story about these two people from like high school through to like being teenage adults, and that was really beautiful. I've seen that 3 times.
Oh, really?
We're gonna watch that.
I'm seeing the poster. I'm seeing the poster, but because there's a lot of good shows.
Normal people.
Normal
what else can you recommend?
Wait. And how about the Real Housewives? Do you watch it? Do you hate it?
I've never seen an episode of Real Housewives.
Don't watch it.
I love Amazing Race. I love Survivor. I don't like the American Survivor. I like the Australian Survivor. The Australian Survivor is amazing. I don't watch too much of like the housewife reality. I watch more of like competition reality.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
good.
Probably,
wow.
Yeah.
Imagine Normal People. I'm gonna watch that.
Watch it. It's
They-
so beautiful.
Add it to your
Def-
list already.
Exactly. My God. God, thank you so much. I know it's an hour and
Thank
a
you very
half.
much,
It's
JR.
It didn't feel like it was an hour and a half at all.
I know. I thought it's like I just saw it and direct was just
Very
like
easy with my
I
Filipino.
know, right? When you're having so much fun.
We-
Do you
It
love
just
to drink
feels like,
wine?
when you
Yeah.
speak to other Filipinos, it just feels like family to me. So it doesn't feel like I'm meeting someone that I don't know. It just feels natural, you know?
Natural, right?
Yeah.
Do you have Filipino friends?
Lots of
A
Filipino
lot,
friends.
like
Yeah.
like your close girlfriends
Close
or friends.
to, like, a lot of my best friends are Filipino.
I know, right? Filipinos are very, I don't know,
They can
very
relate
welcoming
to, yeah.
with everything. When was
Yeah.
the last time you went to the Philippines?
I think 2017 was the last time I was there, or 16. But before that, I used to go every year, almost from when I was 6 till I was about
Really?
15, 17. And then through my 20s, I'd go every other year. But I used to bring friends with me. In my 20s, I would bring friends with me, and they loved it. And Bohol is incredible. Like, if you've never been to Bohol, Bohol is
Yes,
one of
I've
the
been.
most beautiful
yeah.
places in the world. And
Never been.
Anda Bohol, which is like a 2-hour drive from Tagbilaran City.
Yes.
It's on the beach. We have the most amazing beaches, the most amazing
Which one?
people.
Bohol Beach Club or? Oh, which one?
The,
No, Tagbilaran is a city.
in Anda. I don't know what the beach is called because we live on the beach. So I mean, there's
Okay.
just beaches everywhere. But
Wow.
it's a beautiful
Lubbock.
town.
Have you been to
Beautiful town.
Lubbock?
I have been to
Lubbock.
Lombok. Yeah.
Yeah, because my dad
Lubbock
is from
River.
Bohol. That's why I told you we're
Oh, whereabouts?
from Dimiao and Dimiao and Tagbilaran. So they're like both parents are from there. So
Yeah.
I'm like we're Boholanos, right?
Yeah,
Boholano represent.
Yeah, exactly.
You
Wow.
both should take me to that beach in Bohol. I
Yes,
miss.
you would
Beautiful.
love Bohol.
I have never gone back to the Philippines since I left in 2011, and I miss the beaches.
Really?
Oh my God.
Not the
you better
bitches, but the
go.
beaches. Yes.
Okay. What about wait? So was that when are you planning to go back?
I'm gonna try and time it when my mum goes back. It depends on like
Okay.
COVID and the restrictions. She's very scared of COVID, so
Yes,
she's
true.
I don't want to go there until it's gone. So she's in Australia. She used to go back all the time. So for her, she's okay to stay in Australia for a while.
Yes.
But I would like to go when she's there next time. So whenever that is.
When she's
Do you
ready
go to
to.
Manila? Do you go to Manila?
Mm, I'm not
Not
a
that
fan
much.
of Manila. I try to I just go there to connect to go to Bohol and then just stay in Bohol the whole time.
The whole time. Oh God, Bohol is beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Jekas, you should go. Well, let's go, Jekas. If we go to the Philippines,
Lots of
let's go
places
to Bohol.
in our itinerary. Look, our friend from
Exactly.
V says, "Don't go. It's only 8 p.m. in Vancouver."
I know, but
LOL.
it's 11 here. we have work tomorrow.
Yeah.
I know, because you know,
before we-
because
But
yes.
before we let you go, I do have a last question. If Jesse, you
Yeah.
still have a question for
No,
him?
actually, you know what? I just wanna can you? Oh, you know what? Yeah, your last question, and then I'm just gonna ask JR to if you can please give, like a message to everyone. I'm sure a lot of Filipino actors and actresses are, dreaming, to have a part in Netflix or to be successful like you.
Yeah.
So just give them like a message, an inspiring message for everyone.
But
Yeah, I
Who's,
think-
especially those people who's like,
Yeah.
they're almost there and
Motivation,
giving up.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you should just anyone who is listening and doesn't feel like they can't keep going, you have to keep going because you never know what could happen. I am the minority of the minority. Like the chances for someone like me were always very, very slim, but there is always a way if you have a will. And I know it's very cliche, but if you push through and you try really hard, there's no way that it won't work. You can't beat someone that won't quit.
Okay. Oh, okay. Promise. Last question.
That's
What
okay.
about,
I don't mind. All good.
What about because we're Asian, right? Because I know a lot of aspiring actors that wants to be in Hollywood or at least to have like a role in New York or anywhere, any film in New York. But like they're afraid because of their accent or because of their Asian. They feel like they're prejudiced or they're sexist or something like that.
Yeah.
Especially when they say that, oh, you're Filipino, it's gonna be hard for you to have a role because of your feature or because of their accent.
Or there's not really any role like
Exactly. So
that was made. Yeah.
So what do you think a motivational what's it 2 cents for them?
I think especially now, Filipino actors and the Filipino culture and is really booming because I don't know if you guys know Joe Coy, who is a really big Filipino comedian.
Oh my
Yes,
God.
Joe Coy. Yes.
He's getting his flowers right now.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I met him briefly on a phone call when I was shooting Space Force, and he was in Vancouver shooting an all Filipino film with all Filipino cast, and it's for a huge production company and huge studio, which I don't think I can say, but like that is a full Filipino made film, and that is to be released in the States. It's an American film, but with a full Filipino cast. So the fact that you're seeing these, Filipino productions coming out and then the world understanding how talented Filipinos are. We are the most talented people in the world, by the way.
Yes.
Yes.
The fact that the world is realizing that it's only a matter of time before it's just going to explode. And I really believe that. So I think it's just, you have to trust that it's going to happen because we are the most, and like, I think Filipinos as well is that we're so good to other people, and we're known for being like one of the friendliest countries in the world, and we're very hospitable. So, it's our time to shine. So I think we deserve it.
Just like what
Very
crazy
well said.
rich Asians did to our Chinese friends,
Exactly.
and
Look
then
at
Parasite
that.
to
Yeah.
our Korean friends. It's our time.
This movie is going to be amazing, and it's got
Yes.
like all Filipino aunties, and like it's like
The
being
Lola.
a Filipino in America. Yeah, and it's going to
All
be
the
incredible.
lechons, the adobos
Oh
will
my
be
God.
everywhere. Yes.
The Lola, the lechon and the pancit will come out.
Yeah. And Joe is really wanting to put Filipinos on the map. He's a very proud Filipino, and he's working really hard to make it that.
Yeah, to put us in the forefront.
I
And
hope
so
that
am I.
you'll be in that. Did they ever ask you to be
There were no
part of?
roles for me, but I'll be in anything that he does because he's so funny.
I know, right? Like, oh God, Philip, this is our time, right? So thank you so much also
Of
for
course, thank you.
representing Filipino. My God, you're the next JayR Tinaco, like in Hollywood, yeah. With
Thank
was
you.
that featuring JayR Tinaco and
By JayR
Jennifer
Tinaco.
Lopez
Yeah.
by JayR Tinaco, Jennifer Lopez, right?
Emma Stone. Oh my God.
Emma
Jennifer
Stone.
Lawrence.
Oh, and guess what? You know what? Derek and I were talking. You know what? We were like actually imagining you in a Marvel
Oh yeah.
movie
Yeah.
because you are perfect for that. You're perfect for that. Any role
I
in
would
Marvel.
love to do. So Mahershala Ali, who I worked with, is doing the new Blade. He's Blade, right?
Wow.
Oh yes,
So
yes,
he's
yes,
like the
Marshall.
vampire slayer.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to be like a villain in like a Marvel series or a Marvel film. Like to be like the vampire in Blade would be really cool because I think I have the look for the vampire.
Yes, you do.
But yeah, I would love that. I would never say no to Marvel. That's for sure.
That's good. I have
Walking
yet
Dead.
to watch
Walking Dead is big.
I have
yeah.
yet to watch your movie with Mahershala, so I have to put that
know, yeah.
on my rotation
I
too.
know, I
Yeah.
know.
And-
Actually, after this,
I'm
we're
in
gonna
it
watch
a
one
little
movie
bit.
of yours.
I'm in it a little bit. They was in it more, but they had to cut it down for time. But yeah, it's a great film.
Okay, my God. Thank you so much, JR. I know it's an hour and a half.
No,
Thank you
it's
so much,
okay.
guys, for watching.
Yes.
Okay, Jake, I know you have a last
Yes.
question.
Because I know you're pretty young, but I know you've gained a lot of experience. So we're curious, like, what would your answer be to our questions, like the questions that I asked to everyone here? So, JR, if you were given a chance to travel back in time and talk to young JR, what are you going to tell him?
Oh my god, this is so RuPaul. I would say to. I know this is super cliche, but like not to give in to your inner voice or like the inner voice that's telling you that you can't do it. which I also, as a kid, didn't do anyway. But there was so much anxiety as a young kid, and a lot of things that I went through that kind of made me question, if I could do something. So I guess my advice to that person would be just to believe in yourself and know that it'll happen eventually, and that if it's meant for you and if it's meant to happen, it's going to happen.
That's true. Just keep on pushing, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Very
good
well
words.
said.
Thank
And I
you.
thank you.
And I thank you.
Do you love watching Filipino pageant? I mean, the Miss Universe and all this stuff.
I used to a lot, but I haven't seen a lot of it. I think the last one I saw was what was her name? The last winner. I saw her.
Pia Wurtzbach and Catriona
Catriona.
Gray.
Catriona. That's the
Catriona
last one.
Gray.
We've been winning, if not winning, top 5, top 10. So we're pretty
exactly.
good at that. Yeah.
Amazing
It's,
people.
it's so funny because you're really Filipino. Like you grew up in the Filipino environment, culture, right? Like you eat the
I'm very
Filipino
proud
food.
of it as well. I'm
You're
very,
very
very proud of being Filipino.
Wow,
And
we're so
and in
proud of
turn,
you.
we're very, very proud of you and your successes. And we're very excited to what's in store and what other projects that you're going to
Yes,
dish out.
definitely.
Yeah.
Well, we wish you all the best, and I hope you will not forget the little people like us.
No, please.
Especially Jessie because
Part
she's
two.
5, so she's really little.
Shut up! I know I'm short. I'm literally little.
And before we let you go finally,
Yes.
JayR, your last message to your global fans. There's a lot more that will watch this after this. Tomorrow is going to be thousands. So your message for them.
I just want to say thank you for everyone that is tuning in to watch this interview, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you will continue to enjoy everything that I do and put out there, and I will try my best to make the Filipinos proud, and I love you. Maraming salamat.
Oh, we love you too. Thank you, JayR. Okay, Jay, let's
right.
close the show for
Yes.
tonight.
Thank you, mga ka-OAGOT, for tuning into this episode of Getting to Know JayR. Don't forget to share this amongst your friends, and also to please follow us here in Over a Glass or Two in Facebook. We're also live in Twitter, and we also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch, and subscribe to our Over a Glass or Two YouTube channel. Yes. JayR Tinaco, our idol. Thank you very much for hanging out with us and letting us get to know you better.
Yes, thank you.
And we're looking forward to more of your projects. And part 2, of course.
Part 2.
And that Tribeca red carpet.
Yes. And hopefully when you have like at least an hour time.
Yeah, if you're not too
Please,
busy.
I mean, even coffee.
Yeah.
When you're in New York, let me
When
know.
you're here. Yeah.
Definitely, the 3 of us will be there. Okay, the 2 of us,
perfect.
or are we including the rest?
Everyone.
Just kidding.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you're going to drive us, duh.
I know, duh.
All right, guys. Let's have our last
Jay,
take
go.
for this tomorrow night.
Yes.
Amidst the pandemic, let's still find ways to be happy. Let's all talk about it. Over a glass or two. Bye, everyone.
Thank you,
Thank you, JayR. We love you.
Mwah. Love you, beautiful. Bye.
Alam nyo ba itong SMDC? Ang gandang gawin na puhunan. Kung gusto nyong mag-invest sa mga kondo nila, maganda yung mga locations, talagang prime, mala resort yung mga amenities. Well-managed yung cleanliness, saka pwede mo pang maparent yung kondo na mabibili mo. Hindi mahal yung bayad sa pag-reserve, pati yung monthly mong down. Talagang abot kaya nating mga tiga-ibang bansa. So guys, kung gusto nyo magkaroon ng sarili nyong kondo, pamumuhunan ninyo, titirahan o gagawing bakasyonan, may eksklusibong discount kami ng SMDC dito sa Over a Glass or Two. Mag-email lang kayo sa amin sa oagot.us@gmail.com. Pwede ka din magbenta nito para sa ekstrang pera mo. So email lang kayo sa oagot.us@gmail.com. Get your mind and body rejuvenated with Monarch Montage, Skin Science and Medical Aesthetics. Secure the glow you always wanted. Achieve the body of your dreams. Monarch Montage upholds its high standards in beauty. Beauty is the harmony of science and art. Beauty is balance and civic. Complexions are meant to be immaculate, and beauty is beyond time. Imagine the possibilities. In the Philippines, contact Dr. Homer Mendoza. In New York City, contact Dr. Alicia Almendrao. Learn more at monarch-montage.com. Monarch Montage, the beauty and health continue.